Hello everyone, today we're taking a look at the Nimble65 O4. This is a little bit of a new Whoop, and one of the things about Whoop that we're always fighting is trying to keep that weight down for performance. Well, DJI came out with their new O4 and their single layer board that's kind of what we call the light version. How's it going to pan out on 31mm props with a 1S battery? Well, we're going to find out. Flight controller is the Red Fox 1A, which is a 5 amp all-in-one flight controller. And if you can see it, I think that wire right there, that's the Express LRS antenna. Motors are 0702, 27,000 kV. And on those motors are HQ DT 31mm tri-bladed props. The frame is a different design. I actually thought it was the newbie drone sort of race frame, which I compared it to, but there are some slight differences, and you could probably see them right there on screen. Nimble65 with the O4 weighs 27.85 grams. I flew it with these different sorts of batteries. They're all pretty much the same. They're all flat cell packs, and the flight times on fresh packs are going to be about the same. We'll weigh it with the sub 250, and that weight is 36.19 grams. It comes with various sorts of accessories that we expect, but look there. I got two of these proper removers, and they're actually, these two are some of the thicker ones on the market. They might actually work. We also get a little screwdriver, extra set of props, hex tool, and some screws. Oddly, mine also came with these rubber dampening, an antenna, and a cable kit for an O4. That might just have been an extra that slipped into mine. But you can see how long those mounting screws are. I suspect those are 10mm because when I actually go looking for 12mm, I can't even find them. And one sheet of stickers. Now that you've had a moment to think about it, some of you are thinking the flight times have got to be really, really short. 27 grams dry without a battery on 31mm props. That's a heavy Whoop, right? Well, I got a trick up my sleeve for that. So I didn't do the full setup with the OSD and showing you that the goggles, the setting for the camera on the goggles. I've done that a few times now. I don't know how necessary that is. I really didn't get any feedback about that. So if you want to see the first part where I go in and I show the goggle menuing system showing you what the camera is set to, I can do that. I do get some questions about the megabits that I'm running, and I am running the goggles too. So 50 is the best I can get. So I didn't splurge for the goggles 3. I'm kind of feeling that that might be necessary, at least in this purpose, for me making videos, so that's kind of more in place with what people are using out there in the wild. I was surprised that someone came forward with a 65mm 1S Whoop. I with DJI specifically, because it's not light. 27 grams isn't terrible. It wasn't that long ago, or at least in my memory, it wasn't that long ago that getting under even our old analog Whoops, getting them under 20 grams was a big momentous achievement. Now we got them down around, what, 15, 16? But this coming in at 27, and then you add weight to it when you've got the battery in there. You're flying at, what was it, 38 grams, I think it was. So that's a lot of flying weight for 31mm. And I think I'm probably going to say this a few times. This is for those people that only fly DJI or just really want to fly DJI, and you want to fly inside, and you're not looking for long flight times necessarily, or performance. Or if you want longer flight times on a setup like this, you're willing to buy some different batteries. And some of you probably already know what I'm talking about. I guess I'm doing a lot of teasing here. That's not normally my forte. I don't know what. Maybe I'm in a mood tonight or something. But I don't think I'm going to revisit this in an outside flight or for faster inside. There's not much performance to get. You could see that as I get cruising around and the battery voltage starts to get low. I'm at half throttle, and I was cruising around at like 42. Throttle's in the top left, by the way. And this flight is going to end suddenly kind of as I come in, because the voltage just kind of drops off the floor, and the 5 amp back on this all-in-one flight controller just isn't that strong. The lowest voltage that I had video at was at 3.21, and yeah, I fell off the table. So if you go back, you saw 3.21 and then 3.22, but I'm still recording the DVR on board the O3. That's what we're looking at there. So that flight was 2:33, and that was the longest flight I had, and just nearly got home before the voltage just crashed out and I didn't quite get it on the table. So lucky for me, I landed in a nice cushy soft chair. So if you want, as I was saying, If you're looking for something like this, you just fly, maybe you only fly DJI, or you just really want to fly DJI and you want to do it inside. This can cruise around for about 2 minutes and 15 seconds if you've got good fresh batteries. If you want more flight time than that, then you're looking at buying these super long Weebleed FPV batteries. I had these on the channel a while ago. These are 465 milliamp, and it does look a little bit ridiculous. They come in BT20, and the connector on the quad is A30. It's compatible. They plug in. I've been flying these. Again, still same cruising style, and what we'll do is we'll go to the end of that video that I put together, but I know some people will be curious about this size of battery because it's long. Let me plug it in here. Let me take my glasses off. Yeah, we got the beeps. Yeah, we got the beeps, but yeah, this is kind of the battery, if you can tell that very closely there. Yeah, it kind of sticks out a fair bit there on the front. Didn't really bother me in flight, but I'll show you that. You can take a look at it yourself. Okay, we jumped right in, going around the table here. We're only going to look at about a minute of this. Just a proof of concept, again, even with the different battery, as well as the battery being far longer than our traditional 300 milliamp batteries. You can see that the Rocksteady still works, and then we're back to the DVR footage, so we have all our Betaflight OSD elements. And you can see as the voltage is getting low on the battery, we're at 341 down there in the bottom left. I am still flying around, half throttle on that, comparatively like I was in the 300 milliamp battery. So that isn't far off. But we have substantially more flight time. You can see there that we're well over 3 minutes, and we're just coming into land here now at about 340, 343, I think it was. Yeah, 343. Battery didn't come all the way back up to that magic voltage of 3.5 volts, but it's close. So with this battery, you can get pretty good flight times. Can you imagine what you would get with this battery? Maybe I did test that when I had these batteries on the channel earlier. I kind of forget on a super light, like the newbie drone 3.1 race spec, the Hummingbird 3.1. I think this weighs around 15 grams, whereas this battery probably weighs more than 15 grams. I wonder what sort of flight time we could get. I should do that. Maybe I will. It's been cold again. Winter has come back. But if you want to cruise around your place or somewhere, it's going to need to be such low wind because we just don't have a lot of thrust left over to use to battle wind, and these sorts of quads don't do great in wind either. So it's going to have to be really low wind, like single digits at most, if not near zero wind, in order to fly this and have much fun and be able to hold your line outside. I don't think you're going to find this going very fast for very long, although I'm thinking about trying my prototypical, flights when I get this cast off and seeing how short the flight really is if I try to go like I normally go. It does have adjustable camera angle, and you have the screw there on the side. We can move the camera up and down to adjust, and it does have some camera protection up front with these little pieces up front. You can kind of see those there. I think the frame is super lightweight. Matter of fact, I may have a frame to weigh. I do. Let's weigh that. So if anybody wants to check out the weight of this for an analog build, maybe you're trying to get down closer to 12 grams. I don't know. You'll have a good idea. Okay, I grabbed a couple of frames that I wanted to get out. Just things that I had handy. So this is the Sub 250 frame, 2.33 grams. This is the Beta FPV Air 65 frame, 2.74 grams. So just a tenth. All right, a tenth, yeah. And then I have a Weebleed frame, 3 grams, nearly flat. And yes, motor post to motor post, it is 65 millimeters. While we're back here at the desk, I can show you some closer look as far as that camera angle, camera protection. That's what I was flying at. Of course, it's pretty modest, pretty mild. I think it's one of the shortcomings of the O4s, especially for whoops and indoor flying, is that the field of view just isn't it isn't what I would want. Of course, I know if I fly in 4.3, I get more vertical field of view. I just think that not too many people actually want to see that. I know it's not appealing to my eye, but it sure helps me when I'm flying to get as much in view as possible with the camera. But the frame is pretty flexible. You can see it comes in 2 different colors. You can see it's got a little bit of a different sort of strut style. Unfortunately, with the newbie drone frame, I don't have a spare one to get out. But I started to talk about a few of the basic differences. between the newbie drone and this one, and you can kind of see them drawn out right there. You know, these bits between here. There's nothing on this frame versus there are supported on this frame over here. The angles are a little bit different in these outer pieces out here near my index finger on my left hand as well. Looks like the spur orientation, oops, is identical, at least to my eye. Well, you can see there also that the newbie drone frame, as far as the supports, come a little bit farther to the outside of the prop protection. But that's kind of a quick look at the frame. I thought I would show that to people who might be interested in doing some builds. I did mention it already, but I want to firm that up. A30 connector, it is compatible with BT20 batteries. That always seems to come up. Pre-flight check stuff. Check these wires. Always check these wires. Your MIPI cable from your camera. Make sure it isn't sagging or out here. I do believe the Express LRS antenna is coiled up between the two boards there, right there. That is the Express LRS wire. And originally, I kind of thought this might be wired directly to the power pads. So a jump cut here. I have to correct myself. I confused myself when I was looking at different quads. This one here is actually wired directly to the power pad, and I think that's where they went wrong. They should have wired this to the 5-volt pad in order to maintain voltage a little bit longer. I think I might just actually take this and rewire it to the 5-volt pad and test that out. And if that holds true, then I'm definitely going to have to come back with another video. Unfortunately, I confused myself and looking at, I've had a lot of quads show up here my broken wrist time. And so I misspoke there a little bit. This is actually wired to the what we call VCC, or the power pad. That's one of the reasons why the battery runs, well, the voltage gets too low and you lose video when the voltage is at like 3.2 volts. You know, the O3 requires 3.7 volts, I believe it is, to maintain power, and it couldn't just draw that much out of the battery the way it was wired. Better option would be going off the 5-volt pad. So I'm going to give that a test, and then I'll come back, and after I get my cast off, then I'll be able to fly it more aggressively, and we'll see what happens there. Apologies for that confusion during the narration of the flight, but we learn and we move forward, right? And tonight I put the Pyro Drone hat on. Some of you in the US, especially West Coasters, will be familiar with Serge over at Pyro Drone because they have the sub 250 stuff in stock. So if you are interested in that and you are in the US, you can just use your fingers, do the walk-in, right on over to Pyro Drone. Other shops may have this too. Of course, I think sub250.com has their own shop that you can buy this from if you wanted to. It's probably going to be distributed through other resellers as well if it's not already. I have all of the sub 250 quads. They've kind of relaunched everything with the O4s, the Huma, the Nimble65. I can't remember what this one's called. I think this was a Nanofly. And so I've got all those quads to work through. As I've been recording this video, I do think I'm going to come back. It might be a fun video to make, and just to see if I can fly this fast and how short the flight times is with a 300 milliamp battery. I don't want to do it with the big long Weebleed FPV battery. I just don't think that's a fair challenge. But if you are looking for the Weebleed FPV battery and you don't know where to get it, you go to weebleedfpv.com, and they have these 465 milliamp batteries. I'll also put a link down in the video description for not only the battery, but the Nimble65 O4 down in the video description if you are interested. It's a cruiser. It's a cruiser for people who strongly want to fly DJI inside. That's my final time I'm going to say it, but I just want to make sure that we know what we're getting into. You know, I don't want to just bash a product because I think it could have longer flight time. I've already mentioned that this Beta FPV 75 Pro gets voltage down further, which means you can get more flight time than this one does. So I just want to make sure that everybody watches understands if you want to go after this particular product, what you're going to be getting in. But if you have any comments, questions, suggestions, or otherwise, please let me know in the comments section below. I'm getting this off next week, Tuesday, I'm told. Pumped about that one. I appreciate your time. And thanks for watching.